Because crypto is, I think, such an important force in the psychology of the market, I wanted to do a video specifically about what's been going on with crypto recently. This was obviously a very big week with crypto kind of inadvertently blowing up some banks. So let's talk about that. This is Silvergate, and this is a very bullish chart. And it's very bullish because it ends around November 2021 when crypto was peaking. Bitcoin famously got to about $70,000 per coin. Sammy Bankman-Fried was considered a genius and a brilliant multi-deca billionaire, I guess. I don't know. And even I got sucked into the NFT thing because, I figured, well, I guess I'm just too old to figure things out. I might as well jump on in. So this is how it looked. And at the time, Silvergate was a sensational looking chart, even in this old perma bear here. You had this basing period. Once it broke out here, late in 2020, it was off to the races. Absolutely sensational. Up many hundreds of percent. And then it based again, very pretty, and completed that base and shot up, tested it successfully, and began pushing higher. If this were a normal market and a normal stock, even at this price, this would be a terrific looking buy. It wasn't. This is what happened afterward. That is the peak you just saw when it was like $220. And today, as I stand here, it was 1% of that price. 1%. So if you invested $1 million in it, you would have, what is that? $10,000 now, I guess, if I'm doing my math right. Incredible. And, as I mentioned briefly, even I went in there and actually bought some of this stuff and got out with a teeny little profit of a few dollars, and thank goodness too, because it plunged after that. I was monkeying around with it when it was at 2.96. It closed at 2.54. Who knows, this thing could go to zero. But this is a very dramatic example of the craziness which has gone on with not only crypto, but everything that touches crypto. I've often been baffled how MicroStrategy can be worth anything still, because it's so tethered to crypto. It didn't have a great day. This thing itself has fallen from quadruple digits down to like 90% less than that, like so. And it's been actually, in a way, kind of shame on me for not trading this thing, because this is pretty simple stuff. We've got is very range bound here. Down, up, and then down again. And added to which, this gap was incredible. Look at this. I'm just sort of like shocked just looking at this in real time. The gap, the low here was 318.43. The high here was 315, and then it's like down every day ever since. So interesting stuff. But let's get back to the raw crypto. The biggest of the big, of course, is Bitcoin. And you can see here it's been through 3 manic phases for the data I've got. Bitcoin goes back about 5 years more than this. Actually, more than that even, probably like 7, down to when it was like a penny. But this is all the data I've got. So we've got 3 crazy bull runs here. The first and the sharpest was right here. Then we got the second one. And then following COVID, we got the third and the biggest by far, where Bitcoin went from under $4,000 up to $64,000. And it topped out, fell hard, and did an amazing job with these Fibonacci's. Look at this. The Fibonacci's are anchored to this low and to the lifetime high. And you can see how reliable these have been in terms of support. So collapsed, support, 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 almost to the penny right there. And then take a close look along the way, what those lines mean. Look at the magnetic power of these things. Up to the tippity top. It's unbelievable. Just look at those lines and how important they are all along the way. And the hardest crash we got here was at the bottom of the equity market in June of last year. and it tried to rally, but it's so damaged it couldn't even get back to the fib. So I drew this line to show that peak. Let's zoom in. So that's as high as it could muster. It was just in such rotten shape it couldn't even do that. It was also in such rotten shape it sank below the fib. And so far it's found support at this zone. Now, the latest craziness started really when the year began and slowly crept up every day, and then it went into sort of hyperbolic mode. Went exploding higher, gave up a little, had another huge rally, but look at what happened. Double top. Like so. And then since then, it has slumped lower. So the real question is, what happens with this line? And the cool thing about crypto is that it trades all the time. So if over the course of this weekend, it doesn't dare go below this line, that's probably a little flicker of hope for the bulls that they so badly need. Not just for Bitcoin, but for all assets. On the other hand, if it gets below this line, I think that we could be in for some more heavy selling as the week begins. So that's important to notice. As we look at Ethereum, which goes back the same amount of time, but it's kind of a different sort of chart. Same three rallies. I just haven't marked them with a rainbow. So we had this rally here, and then the second one, and then the gargantuan one where Ethereum became a household word. And this is when it went from about $100 up to $4,400. And that guy, Raoul Pal, or whatever his name is, became super famous, and everybody's talking about, they basically trotted out all this math to prove that there was no shadow of a doubt that Bitcoin was like guaranteed to go to 8,000 at that point, etc. Never happened. So in this instance, we had this enormous top right here, which plunged, retraced right back up to it, and since then been ambling around. And here's the same line that represented Bitcoin's double top. In this case, it didn't even get to that line. It tried to. This is as close as it's got, and that slumped. So in this instance, the key is this line here. We've got a right triangle pattern here, and this is going to take more doing, but I'll just say this. If this line breaks, I think that's going to be an extinction event for crypto in general. That would be an enormous deal. Now, I'm not saying that Bitcoin and Ethereum will go away. I think, this nonsense will continue for years. But I do, by extinction event, I'm talking about lots and lots of altcoins, lots and lots of businesses associated with crypto. It would just be another leg in the bear market. I'm just glancing at some other symbols here. There's really nothing in particular worth pursuing at this point. So I think I'll just wrap it up here. So long story short, it's nice this never stops trading. It gives us some sense over the weekend, kind of which way the wind's blowing. And I just want to emphasize those breakpoints with respect to what would constitute major new legs down in the market.